right, damn it. Welcome back to Fresh Out the Theater. Holy shit, we have not done this in forever.
No, we haven't.
Really fell off the wagon of doing this kind of thing, but I think we were compelled because we're big, huge, nerds when it comes to superhero movies, and there's one that just came out that people have been really shitting on. So we had to see if it was as bad as everyone said, and that is X-Men Dark Phoenix.
I know y'all are some motherfuckers. Let me just tell y'all right now. No, because we just looked at Rotten Tomatoes, and I don't care the critics. Like y'all, it was not that bad. It was not that bad. So,
I think that what's Rotten Tomatoes, if anybody pretends to give a shit about Rotten Tomatoes, and it's really uncool to say that you do check it or give a shit. I think everyone does to an extent, don't they? Like everyone takes a peek. Just out of curiosity as to what Rotten Tomatoes says.
I don't. I don't give a shit.
You're
what
telling
Rotten
me that
Tomatoes
you
does.
never ever look at Rotten Tomatoes?
Never.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Because you know what? When I want to go see a movie, I'm going to go motherfucking see the movie.
Okay.
And so I don't care what fucking Rotten Tomatoes says.
Well, you're a true fangirl. Good for you. Because I'm not going to bullshit. I do look. Like whenever movies come out, I'm just out of curiosity. I get on there and I see what do the critics have to say. Out of curiosity, It's not that I necessarily fucking agree with them, because the critics have loved a lot of movies that I fucking hated.
But see, like if there's a movie that I'm like, I don't know if I really want to go see it or not. Like I'll go see it whenever it's cheap.
Yeah. Dollar theater. There's a lot of those here in Dallas. That's for sure.
Not like a dollar theater, but like I'll go see like a matinee show, or I'll go on a Tuesday night when tickets are $5.
When the trailer came out, I remember we had two very different reactions to Dark Phoenix. You were like really bored and uninterested. And
I think my whole thing was like, this is Dark Phoenix. This is something that The Last Stand really
cocked up.
Yes, is that she's supposed to be almost like a cosmic being.
Yeah.
And I didn't get any of that from the trailers.
Yeah.
But watch the movie cleared things up.
Yeah.
So.
And we'll go ahead and just let everyone know right now. We'll give them a heads up. This will contain some spoilers. I don't want to give away everything because I think there's some interesting things about the villain I don't want to talk about. So I'm not going to give away everything, but this is going to contain spoilers. It's impossible for us to talk about the movie with nuance without giving away spoilers. Just giving everyone a heads up. But the movie's been out for a couple of weeks, or a week or two. So people really can't complain. We're just giving you the heads up. But speaking of the trailers, and this is part of the first spoiler, there were things in the trailer that did not show up in the movie, and one of them was a really good line that Eric/Magneto says, which is, "I've seen evil, and right now I'm looking at it." We didn't get that in the actual movie, so there was a couple things like that might seem petty that we didn't get from the movie. But I thought to myself, God, how many actual rewrites and recuts did they actually have to fucking do for us to be missing a lot? I heard that happened a lot.
Yeah, they. I read something that the director really cut down a lot of scenes.
Yeah. But
they also did a shit ton of reshoots. Like this movie got pushed back and reshot like twice.
Well, I heard it was because of test audiences too. They said that test audiences kind of shit on it, and that's why they had to do a lot of reshoots and rewrites.
Well, and it's like, I want to know what they reshot. Like I really want to know what they reshot. To kind of get it, because I mean, I didn't think it was a bad movie at all. Like really? I actually really enjoyed it, and so I'm kind of interested to see what they changed. Was it just
what was bad?
Was it just like effects kind of change? Was it dialogue change?
It was probably a lot.
Storyline, like that's kind of what I'm interested in to know.
Main point being, this movie has been incredibly shit on by the critics. It got shit on earlier on by the test audiences. So I walked in with very, very low expectations. But no, I don't think it is as bad as the critics have made it out to be. I don't think it deserved to I don't want to say bombed at the box office, but considering its budget, I don't know if we mentioned this or not.
I think it does technically count as a bomb at the box office.
Because it was like what you said. It was I just found this out tonight. It was a $200 million budget.
$200 million budget, and
holy shit!
And it only in its opening weekend it only grossed $32 million.
Damn!
But even now, though, it's made about half of its money back.
Yeah.
Worldwide.
Worldwide, yeah.
So, but So that part, kind of sucks, but I really just don't think it deserves all the shitty treatment that it's been getting.
Is it better or worse than The Last Stand, in your opinion?
Oh, it's so much better.
Yeah, it is.
It is so much better. It's just like...
Well, me and you disagree. You had said that it was not as good as fucking Days of Future Past. Wow.
I'm still just not a fan of the whole, hey, I know that y'all didn't like The Last Stand and everything that happened, so we're going to take a whole movie and we're going to fix it for you guys.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. What I meant to say just now was you thought you enjoyed this better than Days of Future Past.
I think I did. Yeah, I think I did. But like, it's really strange with the X-Men movies. They're not like other Marvel movies where I can watch them multiple times. Like, I've probably only seen the new X-Men movies at least, once in the theater.
Yeah.
And maybe once, not even maybe again.
Oh, really?
Whenever it comes out on
like,
DVD.
meaning like, in other words, every weekend on FX, whenever they're doing the X-Men marathons, which they seem to love to do. Yeah.
Like, I'll watch the shit out of the old ones, man. I'll watch the shit out of those original X-Men movies. But the new ones, like, I'm not a huge fan of the new ones.
And I thought First Class was okay. I thought it was a little boring.
Yeah, First Class wasn't bad.
It wasn't a bad movie. It was a good, smart movie that I didn't have a lot of fun at. I really loved, unlike you, Days of Future Past. And I didn't mind that they kind of corrected a lot of shit that they fucked up with X3.
I think my whole problem with the new X-Men franchise is that since they booked Jennifer Lawrence and it became X-Men with Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah.
And so it
That's
kind of...
a lot of people's problem with that, is that she became the centerpiece unintentionally.
Yeah. Yes, and she became the centerpiece, but then her character never really kind of... her character went places, but you could just tell Jennifer did not want to be in that role anymore. Same thing with this movie. Have you noticed she's gotten 0 press tours for this movie? She didn't even want to be in it.
Well, her character didn't last. They let us know that early on in the damn commercials.
If you watched the trailer and thought that Mystique was going to make it through the end of the movie, I don't know what trailer you were watching.
She dies in what could be considered the first act.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like they just take her out. I think that was her filling out her contract.
Well, I think she didn't want to be a part of this movie.
Yeah.
And from what I've read, she didn't want to be a part of this movie, but she didn't want to be have the fans wondering where Mystique went.
Yeah.
And so, obviously I know. And so they killed her off in maybe the first 15.
Somewhere the first 20 minutes of the damn movie,
15, 20 minutes. Which I was fine with. I was like, God, thank God. We don't have to see this bitch pretends that she wants to be Mystique anymore. Damn. Rebecca Romaine Stamos did not spend all that time in makeup in the good old days playing Mystique for Jennifer Lawrence to be shitty about playing her now.
Jennifer Lawrence, to her credit, and to be fair, has done, I think, pretty good with what she's been given in 4 movies, and Rebecca Romaine did a damn good job in 2 movies. So now that's not a criticism of Rebecca Romaine, but I'm just saying let's not pretend that for 4 movies Jennifer Lawrence didn't do good.
Rebecca Romaine is up here and Jennifer Lawrence is way the fuck down here. If she ain't getting an Oscar out of her movie, she doesn't want to be in it.
Oh, well, she did this, though, and obviously wasn't getting her a fucking Oscar.
Yeah, but she was going to be a part of a new franchise. She was getting out of a Hunger Games, but then she didn't want to be painted anymore because she was allergic, and then they had to do all kinds of special stuff, so she had to do it. She spent Apocalypse hardly as Mystique. She did it in her... just her form, not as
honestly,
Mystique.
I don't even remember what Mystique looked like through a lot of that. I just remember people bitching about her when she was being choked by Apocalypse. And I remember the worst thing about Apocalypse was the villain was fucking Ivan
exactly.
Ooze.
I'm like, God, are they going to plan to kill her off in every fucking X-Men movie? To be, oh no, not Mystique. I'm just like, damn, let the bitch die. She doesn't want to be in these movies.
There's a lot of speculation there. We don't know what the fuck's, Jennifer, what's going on through her head. We're not Professor Xavier. We don't fucking know what's happening there. I haven't heard anything about that. We're speculating. I think a lot of people have speculated.
She hasn't done any press tours. It's only it's been James McAvoy, Jessica Chastain, and Sophie Turner that's been doing the press tours.
Wow.
So,
they probably are,
Jennifer
not happy about that.
Jennifer Lawrence is Like, I'm going to see my way out of this. Like, no thanks. Thanks for letting me be a part of your franchise. Thanks for putting the movies around me because I'm a big giant star, you know, but thanks, but no thanks. Like,
you just don't like Jennifer Lawrence.
I do really. This is what I am a big Jennifer Lawrence fan. I hate her in these fucking movies.
Yeah,
hate her in these movies.
I think she's okay as Mystique. I think that after seeing what Rebecca Romijn did in the first 2 X-Men movies, it's kind of hard to live up to that, especially because the characters are so fucking different. Mystique in the original X-Men movies was a fucking villain. Or maybe at the most she was an anti-villain because she had her good moments. This Mystique is like, but we're family, Jean Grey. They changed her so much to suit this big
because it's
star.
Jennifer Lawrence.
And again, I understand why that frustrates you. I just don't feel like shitting on her performance as much as you're doing. A lot of people
because her performance sucks.
Like Cameron.
It makes listen, she knows how to fucking act, and you can tell she didn't want to be in those movies. It's like how bad can my acting be for them to just take me out of the movie?
Damn.
And it didn't work. It did not work, Jennifer, okay? Like,
that's fucked up.
I'm just saying. Anyway, we're
going back to the movie.
This is taking too much.
But what the point being is that no, I don't. Maybe, and that's the thing I'm never going to understand. Did I enjoy this movie because the bar was set so fucking low in my mind? Or did I enjoy the movie because it actually wasn't that bad?
I think that's kind of a hard question. Yeah. Because I'm like, okay, is it going to be like The Last Stand? Is it going to suck? Like, what's going to happen?
And in my opinion, this wasn't as bad as The Last Stand. But what does that say about how shitty and horrible the movie The Last Stand was? Like, fuck that movie.
I do think like a lot of it's rushed because they're trying to tell so much. But as far as, and dialogue wasn't that great either. Like, it's a lot of cliche. Yeah, cliche, cheesy stuff.
Don't we expect that from a comic movie nowadays?
Kind of, but not really.
Because I think Marvel, the real Marvel universe that we're used to, that we love, and that centers around things like the Avengers, they're really smart with their dialogue most of the time.
Yeah, they definitely have some cheese, but
it's intentional. It's self-aware when it's cheesy. It's funny.
Yeah, but this was like cheese, like, oh yeah, Jean, we're a family, and or like, oh my god, what else? Like, hold your power in, and
come home with us. Yeah, it's just a lot of expected shit. Geez. So that's part of the bad things about the movie. Is that the dialogue, even by the standards of comic books, is I wouldn't go so far as to say cringy, but it is bad. One of the things, there's also just some really broad writing in this movie earlier on that's bad that might have worked in the cartoons, but not
like whenever they went to space.
And
didn't wear helmets.
They didn't wear helmets. It's like even in the cartoons, we would watch that as little kids, going, "That's not right. What the fuck is going on?" I
don't know. They're talking about, and their explanation on how the jet can get to space is that, oh yeah, it'll work. Like, and
he made come up with some bullshit. It's about velocity, not about something else.
Yeah, well, it's about speed, not trajectory.
That makes no goddamn sense when it comes to cabin pressure and space
and it's like,
and oxygen.
As soon as they get out of the Earth's atmosphere, like, oh, that's just it.
Oh, that's it. They just had to leave the atmosphere. Everyone's okay.
Oh, I know.
The astronauts need their fucking helmets when they're being rescued, but all the X-Men are fine. They're apparently all Supermen. They can breathe in space.
But then whenever he went to go, like, when we say he, I'm sorry, we're talking about Nightcrawler's with them. Yes, they made a point of showing Nightcrawler putting on a helmet after he already went and got the astronaut
with duct tape.
Like, what is going on?
Literally, what's his name? Quicksilver.
Yes, as a Quicksilver too. He didn't need one either.
None of them needed helmets. Whenever he goes and gets the astronauts, I think the second time they put duct tape around his chest with a fucking helmet, and then Jean Grey all of a sudden before she gets her Dark Phoenix powers, is Superman.
But see, that's also what I have a problem with, because we saw her Dark Phoenix powers come out in Apocalypse. Yeah. So they didn't really explain anything. Like,
wait, why did we see it last time? All of a sudden now you're writing excuses she got in space.
Oh, hey everybody that watched Apocalypse and was a part of everything, like whenever Jean Grey walked out like in thin air.
Yeah, walking on air was pretty badass.
Like, projected all this power and this fire out of her, and no one was like, oh, let's do a health check on you. Let's see what's going on. No.
Yeah, what the fuck is that about? You just turned into a giant flaming bird.
It's only after her powers are amplified by 1,000, are they like, oh, let's do a health check? Like,
yeah. Yeah.
It's like, but she had that power before.
She did. They showed that power in Apocalypse, and in this movie, they're like, "Oh, we're gonna forget about that." Like the X-Men movies consistently do. They are the worst when it comes to consistency in their timelines. It is a mess.
Yeah,
and they did it again. And like we thought, we saw the end of shitty timelines with Days of Future Past. Oh, they fixed everything. They're gonna be consistent. Nope. They just start doing their own fucking thing again in this movie. The way the movie starts doesn't make sense, and the way the movie ends.
Well, and that's what I think that's my biggest problem with the X-Men movies is that they are kind of related, but mostly not.
They're mostly not.
So,
they're sort of, and it's really frustrating because they did something really cool in Days of Future Past, where they got the franchise we grew up with, and they put it with this current franchise to say, yeah, it's part of the same universe. But now they're like, not really. We're gonna still do our own fucking thing. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Give us your money, motherfuckers. You know.
So I think I'm really excited. Like I hate to see another reboot of X-Men, but I like
it's
that
coming.
I know it's coming from Disney and Marvel, but is it gonna end with another Dark Phoenix arc?
They're smart enough to go in a different direction. Like they've done that so far. In the first two Spider-Man movies we've seen, he's not swinging around Manhattan yet. He's the neighborhood guy.
Yeah, but I really feel like if they do another Dark Phoenix timeline, like that is gonna be like the phase. What are we now in phase 4?
I think we're in 4 now. Yeah.
Like she might be the phase like 6.
Yeah, way down the line. I agree.
Villain.
I agree. It's like why in the new Spider-Man movies and Homecoming we're seeing villains we really hadn't seen before. Mm-hmm. We're not going to see Green Goblin for a fucking while. We're seeing guys we haven't seen like Vulture, Mysterio.
Well, actually, I think Green Goblin's coming back.
Well,
phase 4.
They said they casted him as who supposedly did they say was going to do it?
I didn't hear anything about casting.
I heard rumors about casting on, but anyway, we'll get into that. Going back to this movie,
because
but yet,
I mean, it sounds like we're shitting all over the movie, and that's what
it's good to get.
We're
the
not
part
trying. Yeah, we're not really trying to do that. I mean, we did enjoy the movie. I think because we didn't have any kind of expectation set.
I had low expectations after everything I heard.
Yeah, and I mean, there were some genuine moments where I was like, like the fight scene in the train.
Yeah,
the train fight scene towards the end. Like it's probably
it's in the third act.
I mean, it's in the third act. I mean, that whole fight scene is probably a good 15 minutes, 15 minutes worth of fighting.
And I think we agreed probably one of the best fight scenes of the entire X-Men franchise.
Absolutely.
It was really well done.
Like you can see everything that was going on, which I really appreciate because I feel like sometimes
it's a muddled mess.
Sometimes it's very muddled. But this one, it was so clear. You could see everything that was going on. And these X-Men are still really young, compared to the first franchise. But to see them kind of like come out and like Nightcrawler, Nightcrawler is just like this. He's like kind of this little nerd dude, and then he's like
he gets angry. You get to see him actually kick ass.
Yeah,
that was a really great scene too.
Yeah, that was a really great scene for him and. They all kind of had just like really great scenes.
They really did. Like I said, we complained about the things that were wrong with the movie. Now, when it comes to things that are actually good about it, I will say that I wasn't bored for a second in this entire thing. I was not bored.
I wasn't. I definitely wasn't. Like, well, the only time I was bored was whenever, oh God, Mystique was talking to. I'm sorry. I'm still like, I was like.
Go away.
You're fucking this up for everybody. They all want to be here.
I don't feel that way. I thought she was okay.
Sorry. I'm just bitter.
You are. No, but again, so that's part of the good thing about it is that the fights, this movie had probably some of the best fight scenes of the entire franchise. To its credit, I was never bored through the entire movie, not once. The interactions are really cool because these are people that have known each other now for decades and they've tried to kill each other at some points, and it's really cool seeing them interact
and continue to try to kill each other.
Yeah, but it's cool to see them interact because it's like old family members at this point. Whenever we see, and again, this is a little bit of a spoiler, whenever Hank, also known as Beast, visits Magneto for help, he says, "What do you want, Hank?" You know, and they look at each other, and you believe that relationship where they've been enemies, they've been friends, and it's 30 years have passed since the first one. Which, by the way, talk about inconsistencies when it comes to time. These motherfuckers have not aged a day since 1963, and this movie takes place in 1992. Which, by the way, the first X-Men movie takes place in 2000. So we're supposed to believe that Michael Fassbender in 6 years ages from the way he looks now into Ian McKellen. Which, don't get me wrong, Ian McKellen's a good-looking guy, but fuck me, he's old as. Sorry.
You stop it there.
I'm just saying he's old. He was in the first X-Men movie. He had silver hair. He's an older guy.
I know.
So in 6 years, we're supposed to believe that he turns from that to Ian McKellen in 6 years.
Well, he's also keeping track of a whole new colony now, so maybe they make him
they
old.
age the shit out of him. So they're not seen as villains when the movie opens up. But they're kind of like heroes, like the way the Avengers are almost.
No, they have dolls. They have people waiting for them. Like whenever they say the astronauts,
that was it.
The astronauts came.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, there's the X-Men. You know, they had signs. They had all their action figures.
Yeah, dolls and shirts.
Yeah, somebody was painted blue. You know, so they're superheroes.
Yeah,
and that was another big, not like a big storyline. I'm sorry, but like it was a storyline that, you know. How do I phrase this? Like, no matter what type of problems that, you know, non-mutants get into, like the mutants are going to have to save their ass. And at what extent and what cost are we going to keep putting our people ahead of them?
Yeah, and that was actually a very important part of the film that I think worked.
Yeah.
Because I think that if Charles is getting what he wants at the beginning of this movie. The X-Men, and they're exemplary when it comes to the good that mutants can do.
Absolutely.
So mutants right now are not seen as villainous when this movie opens up. The X-Men are seen as particularly the good guys.
Seen as assets.
Yeah, they're seen as at least assets. But of course, you said what Jennifer Lawrence's character Mystique said is okay. I'm glad you're enjoying this, Charles. I'm glad we're seen as the good guys. But at what cost? Because we all almost died. Jean Grey almost died. And there you are getting your ring kissed. Right now. And that's Charles, that's going back to what I said about Charles being kind of a schmuck. I mean, he's sitting there in the limelight. The X-Men are risking everything, and Mystique points out, you haven't really been front and center on the front lines with us. You know, we're risking everything, and you're enjoying most of the positive attention. You're meeting with the fucking president and the UN. You
have a direct line to the president.
You literally have a direct line to the president. Everyone at this gala is kissing your ass. You know, and he deserves to be called out by that. So you might have mixed feelings. Some people be like, you know what? He's still human/mutant, so he's gonna have his faults. And other people are gonna look at that and be like, oh man, I don't like what they did to Charles. You know.
Well, like I think that my biggest problem about it is that. Yeah, I don't mind that he's getting all this attention because he's trying to like save face for the X-Men whenever they do this type of stuff. Because like he said, it's just going to take one bad thing that a mutant does and everybody's going to turn on him. And so...
Yeah, which is really shitty. And they find out that's kind of the case what happens to them.
It's exactly what happens to them. So I don't mind that. I think my biggest problem was showing how much he was drinking. This just because in what Days of Future Past, he was a drunk.
Yeah, when we first meet Charles in Days of Future Past, he's in a really dark, bad place, and he's a fucking drunkard who's walking around. Because they said he gave up his power so he could walk. So all he does is stumble around and drink when Wolverine meets him. And Days of Future Past ends with him in a good place. Apocalypse ends with him in a good place.
Yeah, so that's why I'm like...
Why is he drinking so much before even the shit hits the fan? Like, he's drinking a fucking lot.
Yeah.
He's like, shut up.
Almost in the first half, like, every time you see Xavier, he's, like, pouring himself a bourbon or a whiskey or something. And I'm just like, okay.
I was like, goddamn.
Like, can we have a different intro for Charles Xavier, please?
Yeah, he just wheels in with a fucking bottle in his hand.
Like, god damn it. Like, this is not the Charles Xavier that I know. But
that was the drinking was a little bit out of character,
a little much.
Yeah, so he was kind of a schmuck.
Let's talk about. Do you want to talk about the end? How it ends?
Well, let's talk about how we get there at the end. The one thing I will say that's one of the cool things that did about this movie is that we have a change of pace when it comes to who the real villains are. Now, I was worried as the Dark Phoenix movie, it was going to be what we saw in The Last Stand, which was everyone's running around trying not to get killed by Jean Grey, who's obnoxiously overpowered. People are dying. Everyone's begging her to come home and behave. That's what the Last Stand was, and too often the cartoons were. Jean, come home with us. Stop acting crazy. And she's ridiculously OP. I'm glad that we had some other villains in this movie besides Jean Grey not being able to fucking control herself.
Right.
The villains in this movie were a change of pace to what we've seen before, which is either Eric, it's usually Magneto, repeatedly Magneto, or, oh, here's another mutant with these random powers. Oh, here's another mutant with these random powers. These aren't mutants. I'm not going to give away what they are, but they were a really, really nice change of pace from what we've seen in the entire franchise.
Yeah, they were really, it was nice. And I really think that Sophie Turner did a good job, but her accent came out
crack
so often. Like,
it's really funny too because a lot of the actors in here
are
British.
Well, and Nicholas Hoult, I heard a couple of him come out too.
Nicholas Hoult, I thought to myself when I was listening to this, Nicholas Hoult he seems like he's been doing it more. Or better at least. It feels like he's been doing it for the longest time. Nicholas Hoult is very, very good at accents. He's done different ones in different movies. Sophie Turner, though, whenever she was speaking, I almost heard Sansa a couple times because it broke.
Oh yeah, definitely broke a couple times. But I mean, it was just like a fun little thing to catch. Yeah. But I mean, I feel like all her emotions that she was generating were, they were sincere.
Yeah, no, she did acting wise. She did great.
Yeah, like I was just gonna say, like there wasn't really a weak spot as far as acting except for Jennifer Lawrence, the Oscar winner.
Ironically, I think Fassbender might have been nominated for something big like that, but I think she is the only Oscar winner in this franchise, besides Holly, which is in a different set of movies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But it was, that was my only thing is that like I really thought that Sophie did a great job. Jessica Chastain did a great job. Like everybody did a great job.
Acting wise, everyone did an amazing job.
I just felt like it was really rushed. And because they're trying, I know what they're trying to do, and and that's whenever I wish the movie could have been longer. And I almost wish that we could have seen the villains in
their true full form.
Well, not that, because you kind of get a glimpse of them, and I kind of like, they're kind of like shapeshifters, I guess. Yeah. And so I almost I was glad that you, like, if you blinked, you missed their full form. I didn't mind that at all. I just wish that what Marvel does so brilliantly is that they'll throw in something, and you're like, okay, like that's going to be something later down the road, and then it turns into something.
Yeah.
So they put these little nuances into like what could be a potential villain that comes up.
Yeah. 20th Century Fox is about this movie right now. Give us our fucking money, But with the Marvel universe outside of 20th Century Fox, which I admit, yes, under Disney, everything's planned 5 years in advance at least. They're creating. They're interested in creating a universe that is consistent. That is something that they can't cock up down the line when it comes to the timeline. They've been it's not perfect, but they've been really, really good about that. 20th Century Fox, like we said, fuck no. They don't give a shit about consistency.
Yeah, like
God,
when it comes to X-Men, when it comes to Fantastic Four.
Oh God, don't even get started on Fantastic Four. I mean, they're never going to get that right.
I mean, yeah, their record isn't that great, so
their record's been terrible.
So I'm glad that the franchise is ending, but I know it's going to be rebooted, and I'm just like, ugh.
It's going to be a while before it's rebooted. I mean, I think it was Kevin Feige and some others have already said they don't see it happening in the next 4 or 5 years. Well, which is fine.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, we're gonna hear lots of talks about casting and stuff, though. Yeah. Which is totally fine, but I'm still like of the opinion of like, damn, like I just can we just go a while without getting just everything just like rebooted? But
we're gonna have to when it comes to X-Men. When I was a kid, I said that the hardest casting for superheroes is going to be Superman because we've had when I was young a ton of different Batmans. Growing up, we had one Superman, and that was Christopher Reeves.
Yeah.
If there's ever going to be a harder casting than Superman was for poor Henry Cavill, it's whatever poor bastard has to pick up the mantle of Wolverine. We, for 20 fucking years almost, know one Wolverine, and that's been Hugh Jackman.
Ooh.
It's been ingrained into us.
Do you want to talk casting for Wolverine?
That's another episode. I already know what you're going to say.
I feel like we've talked about this. Wait, you know who I'm going to say? I don't even know who I'm going to say.
Yeah, you are. You're going to say Tom fucking Hardy. You better not.
Oh, no.
Okay, thank God. Then
He's
okay.
Venom already, and even that sucks.
Yeah.
So,
good. Stay away, Tom Hardy. I like you, but not for fucking...
I'm going to say, I like Tom Hardy, damn it. But shit, like, no, I don't want him for Wolverine. No, I'm thinking...
I'm mad at him for taking that check for Venom.
I kind of want an unknown to play Wolverine.
Me too. I mean, that's what worked the first time.
Yeah.
Fuck, it worked 20 years ago whenever they picked Hugh Jackman. No one knew who the fuck he was. And when it worked.
Yeah, he was great.
It was really great. That's what they're going to have to do. Just like whenever... and I think that's one thing that Disney does, I'll admit, Disney / Marvel, they do really well is that they are willing to pick unknowns and they know how to make them stars. DC doesn't do that. DC picks really, really well-known actors, and sometimes it doesn't work out. The best example of that would be who they picked is Lex Luthor, who I love as an actor.
Jesse Eisenberg.
Jesse fucking Eisenberg.
He just doesn't fit that role very well. He just comes off as like a spoiled brat more than a like
genius villain.
Yeah, genius. Yeah.
He's just pompous and crazy. That's his superpower.
I mean, he pulled off genius as for Social Network, but Lex Luthor is completely different.
It's on another level.
Yeah, and he just came off as like a spoiled brat.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Let me correct myself. Marvel they are currently doing huge casting when it comes to the future of the Marvel universe. Like right now, supposedly Angelina Jolie and Keanu Reeves are going to be in goddamn the Eternals.
I'm so excited for that. I can't wait to see Angelina Jolie in a Marvel movie.
If you guys don't know, if you can't tell, Maggie has the biggest heart on for Angelina Jolie.
I love you, Angelina Jolie. I know you'll never listen to this, but I love you. I'm just saying, that's been my girl forever. I love her.
Back to this current franchise, which is ending. I mean, they even said in the commercials, they said the X-Men's last or final mission comes this Friday. So it's like, oh yeah, they're letting us know this is it.
Oh yeah, this is it. This is done.
Yeah. It sucks it couldn't have ended on a more successful note, but again, I had fun, so fuck the critics.
Yeah.
It wasn't as bad as everyone's making it out to be. I give it a very strong C+ or 2.5 stars. I think it was a little good. It was.
I'm same.
Yeah. Between 1 and 4 stars, it was a little teeny bit better than fair, because I had fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I give it about 2.5 stars.
I agree.
Yeah, and that's basically it.
Yeah. I'm just gonna keep agreeing with you.
Damn right.